An Indian couple sold their 8-month-old daughter to buy an iPhone 14. They sold her to buy an iPhone 14 to take quick Instagram snaps because the camera is good. In 2012, a 17-year-old Chinese kid sold his kidney for $3,273 to buy an iPhone 4 and an iPad 2. But what makes the iPhone so tempting? Hey guys, how's it going? You've definitely heard about the release of the iPhone 16, and I'm sure you're as excited about it as everyone else. Apple is the biggest company in the world, but it's getting worse every year. People are starting to hate it more and more day by day because of its failed inventions. Have you seen how bad the iPhone 16 is? But how does Apple convince people every year to buy a device that hasn't even changed at all? It's pretty much the same as 5 years ago. Today, we're going to study the biggest company in the world, which is worth over $3 trillion, and see why the iPhone still holds value today. Let me tell you a story about the iPhone. A couple from India bought an iPhone 14. How did they afford it? They sold their 8-month-old daughter. No, I'm not joking at all. They sold her to buy an iPhone 14 to take Instagram reels because the camera is good. The husband hasn't been caught, but the wife was arrested. They found out they had tried to sell their daughter to buy another iPhone. This is a real thing happening in our lives. This isn't the first story of its kind. Back in 2016, a couple sold their 18-day-old baby daughter for $3,530 to buy an iPhone. Can you imagine? An 18-day-old baby. I mean, your parents could sell you to buy an iPhone. In 2012, a 17-year-old Chinese guy sold his kidney for $3,273 to buy an iPhone 4 and an iPad 2. He literally sold his kidney. This is not a joke, as we often say. When asked later why he sold it, he said, "I have two. Why not sell one?" He really wanted an iPhone, and in an online chat group, someone suggested, "I can help you sell a kidney, and you'll get $3,000. It turned out to be a black market deal. As we all know, the normal price of a kidney is around $150,000. Not everyone knows that, but some people do for darker reasons. I mean, have you ever thought about that? Your kidney is worth $150,000. Just kidding. Don't even think about selling it. Now, let's agree that the people I'm talking about are not the smartest individuals in the world. But what is it that makes the iPhone so tempting? There are people willing to take an iPhone over gold for its value. In Instagram giveaways, people prefer to win an iPhone rather than an ounce of gold. If I ask you how much an ounce of gold costs, many of you might not know. It's about $2,500 right now. But if I ask how much an iPhone costs, everyone knows. The value of this device is incredibly significant, which is what drives people to sell a kidney or even their child. There's something wrong here, and you're going to understand everything. I'm going to explain it all to you from A to Z. How Apple studied every angle of this product and all its products. This meticulous approach is what made it the biggest company in the world, and the marketing strategies Apple employs might be the smartest in the world. You'll notice that in movies, you can never find an evil character or someone with bad morals using an iPhone. This is all meticulously studied. To understand this, we need to go back to Steve Jobs. While everyone views him as a technological genius, he's actually a marketing genius, a master of words.
Oh, a stylus, right? We're going to use a stylus. No. No. Who wants a stylus? You have to get them and put them away and you lose them. Yuck. You have to get them and put them away and you lose them. Yuck.
When Steve Jobs was in the spotlight, he was one of the most disliked personalities among his colleagues at Apple, who described him as moody, chaotic, and disrespectful. Elon Musk mentioned that he once met Steve Jobs at a party in Silicon Valley, and Jobs' behavior towards him was less than favorable.
I tried to talk to him once at a party, and he was super rude to me. never super into me.
Although Steve Jobs wasn't very famous at the time, he revolutionized the world of technology. He had a unique ability to communicate and convey messages effectively. Jobs knew how to sell Apple products, transforming them into a human experience. He carefully crafted what people would remember about Apple, and people from all over the world would flock to Apple's annual keynote events just to hear him speak about new devices. In 2023, a website did some analysis on the most frequently used words at Apple events, revealing that "yug" was the most common term.
It's part of so many things that make you.
The entire event revolves around you, the user, emphasizing their mission to make your life easier. Even today, Apple events generate massive viewership. The videos feel natural and engaging, often featuring stunning footage from their headquarters, creating a sense of belonging to the Apple story. But that's not all. The phrase "Apple Silicon" is frequently repeated.
Apple Silicon, Apple Silicon.
Of Apple Silicon. Of Apple Silicon.
Akin to a shiny, attractive logo. So, what is Apple Silicon? It refers to the line of processors Apple developed instead of relying on companies like Intel. They cleverly branded this technology to make it seem like there's groundbreaking innovation behind it. Moreover, they introduced the new AirPods and discussed MagSafe. What is MagSafe? It's the wireless charger that has been available in Android phones since before 2013. Although Apple introduced wireless charging in 2017, they rebranded it as MagSafe, suggesting that there's something extraordinary about it. You often hear about the Retina display as well. The first time it appeared was with the iPhone 4. So, what does Retina display mean? The logo resembles a human eye. When Steve Jobs announced the iPhone 4, it wasn't the best display on the market. While the pixel density in smartphones was already incredibly high and costly, Jobs claimed that the human eye can't perceive more than 300 pixels per inch. The iPhone 14's pixel density is 324 pixels per inch, but they marketed it as a Retina display. Why? To simplify complex technology that many consumers might not understand. Discussing pixels can lose an audience's interest, so Jobs made it accessible. He didn't need to use a more expensive display. He just needed to present it in simple terms. Jobs excelled at making complex technology appear simple, yet it still seemed sophisticated. You may have several questions, such as why Apple doesn't innovate more with foldable screens or 5 cameras. Why do iPhone photos appear sharper on Instagram and Snapchat than those taken with other phones, even though their cameras aren't technically superior? Additionally, why is there an association between holding an iPhone and success? There's a phenomenon occurring in the world, a social divide between Android and iPhone users. This is often referred to as the blue bubble effect. When you send a message from one iPhone to another, it appears in blue, while messages sent to Android users show up in green. There's a deeper social reason for this distinction. Yet, despite all this, I still can't comprehend why someone would sell their kidney just to buy an iPhone. What drives that kind of obsession? Steve Jobs marketed the iPhone as an experience rather than just a device. The iPhone represents a complete experience that can transform your entire lifestyle. It elevates your social status and connects you to the creative individuals often seen in Apple ads, artists, photographers, and business professionals. This association with success and creativity isn't accidental. It's a deliberate marketing strategy. Have you ever heard of cognitive bias? It refers to the brain's tendency to make quick decisions that aren't always accurate. This concept stems from psychology, as our brains are inherently biased. Many decisions you think you're making right now were probably influenced by your subconscious mind moments ago. For instance, if you meet a highly successful photographer and they pull out an iPhone during your conversation, your brain might unconsciously connect their success and creativity with that device. You might think, if I get an iPhone, I'll inherit those traits. Instead of realizing that you need to work hard to achieve that level of success, it's far easier for your brain to link that success to owning an iPhone. This cognitive shortcut plays a significant role in why people desire the device. Acquiring an iPhone isn't straightforward. The cheapest model, the iPhone SE, costs around $430. Entering the Apple ecosystem comes at a premium compared to other smartphones. While companies like Xiaomi offer flagship phones for $1,000, they also provide budget options starting at $50 that function adequately. Apple, however, does not offer a budget iPhone. The rationale behind this strategy is that making an iPhone harder to obtain enhances its value and rarity. Each year, Apple releases a series of phones, but deliberately avoids launching a budget model to maintain exclusivity.